With so much nonsense going on in the United States, Putin invading Europe, where's a safe place to invest? And to be absolutely clear, this is not investment advice because that is not what I do. It's not my expertise, and I am in no way licensed. My expertise is in global affairs, international business, and culture, and there's a plethora of that at culturalperspective.com. That is what brings me to Indonesia. Indonesia had 32 years of authoritarian rule, but now it is a thriving democracy. It successfully made that switch, much like Singapore did in the 1990s. So here's what happened. After 32 years of authoritarian rule, mass protests brought down the dictatorial government. And this is the beauty of Indonesia. The authoritarian government was not replaced by another authoritarian government. Instead, they replaced it with a constitution that decentralized power and created a multi party system. They had a peaceful transition, which resulted in economic diversity and sustained growth, what we call an inclusive government and an inclusive economy. These are the types of economies that excel and the types of governments that can become empires. Indonesia embraced collective responsibility in the form of Pancasila philosophy, which includes Indonesian unity, democracy, and social justice. They focused on long term orientation, 20 years, to transform into an inclusive democracy. And now, Golden Indonesia 2045, a vision to become a top five global economy in the next 20 years. The result? Indonesia had 5% economic growth. And to put that in perspective, the US economy grew by 2.8% and the EU by 0.7%. And the growth forecast puts the US at best 1.8, but possibly going into recession, and the EU at 1.2%. But Indonesia at 5.1%. However, it's not next year's growth rate that excites me. It's the fact that Indonesia put itself on a 20-year plan to create an inclusive democracy and economy. And it did it. And now it's on a 20-year plan to become one of the top five economies in the world. Long term planning that includes all citizens is what builds a prosperous, happy nation. It is also what builds an empire.